Right?
Yeah, I have started. So today we
Okay.
are going to see about data migration. So if you wish to load the data in bulk from any legacy system to Salesforce or from Salesforce to some other system, you can do it using a third-party app exchange tool called Data Loader. This tool has been recommended by Salesforce itself. Salesforce itself recommends this Data Loader tool. So using this only, we are going to see how to import and export the data in a CSV format from Salesforce or into Salesforce today. Okay. So as I told yesterday, if you look at for the requirements or the necessities for this data migration, you need to have record ID. So every record in Salesforce has a unique 18 character record ID. The first three characters it represents the object and the remaining 15 characters represent the record actually. So Salesforce does not know if you are going to say it as Ganesh or Dilanta. So Salesforce will know only if you specify Ganesh and Dilanta's record will have a unique record ID. With that record ID only Salesforce can do any actions. Okay. So we are going to play around with this record ID only in data loader because data loader if you see for updating or for deleting any record in Salesforce, you need record ID. When you're inserting a new record, there is no record ID. Once you insert and the records get saved and commits from the database, Salesforce will generate the ID after that only. Okay, if you look at the DML operations, this is what we call it as DML operations in Salesforce. Okay. So these are all the four operations available in Salesforce: insert, update, upsert, and delete. Upsert, if you see, it is a combination of update and insert. Simultaneously, if you wish to update few records and insert few records, then you can go for upsert. For example, let's take on account object, you have already have 10 records. Okay. So now what is your intention is like the requirement has come in such a way like you need to update those 10 records and need to insert newly 10 records. So simultaneously you are going to do two actions, updating and inserting. In such scenario, you can do it in a single call using upsert. Okay. When you are inserting any record for the first time in Salesforce, there is no need of a record ID because you are going to insert newly, right? So once you have inserted and saved the record, Salesforce will generate one ID for that particular record. That could be any record, okay? So on any object in Salesforce. Once you insert a new record, Salesforce will generate an ID. And are you able to hear Dilanta?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now I can.
Okay, okay.
Now I can. Yeah.
Fine. So data manipulation languages operations in Salesforce, if you see it is actually insert, update, upsert, and delete. So upsert is a combination of update and insert. So simultaneously, if you wish to update any record or and insert a record, then you can go for upsert. For example, an account object already, if you have 10 records, and the requirement is saying like you have to update those 10 records and newly insert another 10 new records. So simultaneously, you will have to update and insert. So in such a scenario, you can go for upsert operation. So insert, update, upsert, and delete. Okay. So we are going to carry out only these activities in Salesforce. When you are inserting a new record in Salesforce, there is no need of a record ID because you are going to insert a new record only, right? So once you insert a new record, after you save it from the database, once the record is getting saved and commits from the database, after that the Salesforce will generate one ID. For any future transactions, you would require that record ID. For example, if you wish to make an update or delete or upsert, do any kind of actions after you have inserted a new record, post insertion, if you wish to make any changes for that particular record, you need the record ID of that. Okay, with that only, data loader will recognize and Salesforce can recognize what actions needs to be done. So this record ID plays a pivotal role in your data loader and data migration in Salesforce. So data migration, if you see, data migration, if you see, this would be your overview of about how to uh, do the data migration. So next, let's see how to do this in practical way. So I have opened uh, my debug, and in Google just type in data loader. Just type in data loader and enter search. Click on that. The first link will get opened. Click on that. It will take you to this page. So here it will show like login with Salesforce. Just click on that. So for us, this debug is actually the production. Okay. So just agree to the terms and services and log in. Okay. So this is the data loader page. So now here if you see, for assumption, let's take so let's take this particular object, products in inventory. So this is the table or the object which we are going to take into consideration for performing the data migration activities. So see here, this object has this many number of records. Click on I'm clicking on each record. So if you see, every record has a unique ID. See here. So this is what I was saying. So every record in Salesforce will have a unique record ID. This record ID will keep changing. The last few characters it keeps on changing and it will be unique. So this record ID is only mandatory. The first three characters represent your object. See here, the first three characters will remain the same for all the records. Okay, that actually represents your object. This particular products and inventory object it represents. Okay, so now what we are going to see is we are going to keep this as the reference, this object as the reference, and we are going to perform the data migration activities. So as I said yesterday, for migrating the data from some other legacy system to Salesforce or from Salesforce to some other system, all that is required is in a CSV format data should be provided. Okay, from legacy system, it is the legacy system owner's responsibility to extract the data either using ETL tool or directly, and they need to provide the data in a CSV format, and they will hand it over to the Salesforce team. The same way, if Salesforce is going to provide the data from their system to some other system, they will also extract the data in the CSV format using this data loader tool, and then after that, using that, they will be providing the in CSV format only. They will also be providing the data to the third party. So here, as we don't have any other third party system or the ETL tools, middleware tools, Informatica, web methods like that, we don't have any middleware tools. What we are going to do is, first we are going to extract the data, extract this particular data from Salesforce in a CSV format, and we are going to assume this as the we are going to assume this particular data as the data which we got from some other legacy system. Okay, for our practical to show it in the practical way, what we are going to say is, already first we are going to extract the data from our available Salesforce system itself in the CSV format, and we are going to treat this data as the data which we have got from some other system. Then after that, we are going to make changes like updating the few records, inserting newly few records, deleting the records. Everything we are going to do in this particular CSV format file, and then we are going to push it inside Salesforce again using the data loader tool, and we are going to check whether it is performing correctly or not. Fine. And in real time also, this is how you would be seeing, like, if the data will be provided to you in a CSV format. So as we don't have the source data or raw data in CSV format, what we are going to do is we are going to extract the data. So it would be useful for when we are doing this, we'll also be able to practically see if at all in future from Salesforce, if data is going to go out from Salesforce, then in such a scenario, how to extract the data, that also you would be able to see practically here. So first we are going to extract the data, keep that data as the source data or raw data, make some changes in that CSV file, and then again push back into Salesforce using that third party tool, and then check whether the data has been inserted correctly or not into the system. Okay, so as I repeat again, this data loader or data migration is actually a one-time activity. Okay, so it is not possible every time, because usually in real time many systems would be integrated. Data would be flowing from system to system. Salesforce is actually, front-end facing, customer-facing CRM system, wherein which it has been a hit in the recent years. But then you will have, in any enterprise you take, you will have definitely Oracle, SAP, and other systems will be in place. Okay, so other systems will be in place. In such a scenario, definitely there needs to be integration. So if at all that integration would be there, but this data migration is a one-time activity, wherein which if you wish to load the data in bulk, then you would be going for this data migration. Okay, so now what we are going to say is, come to Salesforce data loader, click on new task, click on export. Suppose we are going to extract the data, correct? I told, right? So what is the object name? If you see, object name is products and inventory. So just searching for the products and inventory, it will search. So select that, click on next. So what are the fields you want to have it? So here if you see, what are all the fields which are available? So product name, amount, available quantities, quantity, product description. So amount, available quantities. Obviously, I need record ID. Why? Because I am going to update, delete, upsert, everything. All actions I need, I am going to do, correct? So I need to fetch the record IDs also. So that I am getting that. Next, if you see, product name, description, quantity. Okay, these are all the fields I want from my system. So I am selecting that. Click on next. It will show 6 records. So if you see here, there are only 6 records here, correct? So that is the amount which it is showing here. So next, click on save and run. So your job will get queued. So this is actually the free version of data loader which they have, the company itself has provided. Like Salesforce, if you see, these people have provided a free trial version. Like if you want to perform bulk operation after a certain period of time, then you will have to buy the product. then you have to pay and buy the product only. Okay, this is actually now what you are seeing here is the cloud version of it, live Salesforce, the same way they have also provided. So now if you see 6 successes, so click on that. So now the data would have been extracted for you in the CSV format. Click on this. So now see here, we have got the data in the CSV format. Okay, with record ID, amount, available quantities, product description, name, quantity. Correct? See here, these are all the record IDs. So now to cross check, I am going to use this record ID and put it on my Salesforce and check whether this is the particular record ID or not. So I'll copy the record IDs. Fine. Moto X. Moto X. Moto E. So if you post the record IDs in the URL, it would take you to you can view the particular record. Okay. So now if you just keep the first 3 characters, it will take you to the object. It will take you to the object. Okay. So now what we are going to see here, if you see, we are going to make changes in this particular record. So we are going to first insert, update. So parallelly I am going to do both the options. So I am going to try upsert action. Okay. So for that I need to update few records. So I am updating few records here. So now before updating, if you see here, I am selecting. Now if you see, the name is actually ASD. Okay. Then I am selecting the second record ID and I am searching it here. It is actually ASD. Okay. Now what I am doing is, in the Excel I am changing the name as okay. I have made an update activity on these 2 records. So I have changed the product name for these 2 records and I am going to insert newly 2 records. Okay, see here. So I have updated 2 records and I am trying to insert 2 new records into the system. As I said, when you are trying to insert 2 new records into the system, you don't require the IDs. Fine. And I am updating these 2 records, correct? So you need the record ID. Already I have fetched the record IDs. I have extracted in the CSV format from the system. The record IDs also I have fetched. So I am going to keep this as the base. Fine. So now I am going to save this. and keep this as the file to push the data back into Salesforce. Now before, I have not done anything. I have just extracted. Now if you search for any record, for example, if I search for 1 plus 2, it is not available. This particular product is not available in my R in any of the object. Okay. But if you search for ASD in the same way, see here in products and inventory object, it is showing 2 records. But for the same way, if you search for 1 plus, if you search for any of these records, it will not show in any of these records. Correct? So now we are going to make the changes. We have made the changes in the CSV format. Now we are going to use this file, and we are going to, using data loader, we are going to migrate the data, and we are going to consider this data as the raw data which we got from legacy system, and it has been in CSV format. We have made the changes, and this is the data which the other party system has given to us. Now our job is to insert this particular data into our system. So how to migrate the data in bulk like this? So if we see, so go to data loader, click on new task, click on import. It will ask whether you are going to insert, upsert or update. So as I said, upsert is actually a combination of insert and update. So parallelly I am going to make changes for 2 records. I am going to update 2. I am going to update 2 records, and I am going to insert newly 2 records. Fine. So what I will be doing is, I am going to perform the upsert operation. Click on upsert and click on the object name. So what is the object name? Select that, click on next. Then it will ask you to upload the CSV format file. So click on that, click on the area where in which you would have got that. So this is actually the file. Open it. So see here, it will show the sample data. The first data it will show actually. Moto G is the first record. It is showing field mapping is being done, whether amount is being mapped to amount, available quantities is being mapped to available quantities, product description to product description. And it will show for confirmation, the first record alone will be shown here as the sample data. Okay, then click on next. Now see here 8 records totally. So already 6 records were there, correct? Already in the system 6 records are there. We have made changes for these 2 records, and newly we have created 2 new records. So totally 6 plus 2, 8 records are there. Fine. So now click on save and run. So it will show one pop-up wherein which it will show like this is going to alter your Salesforce data. Just click on run. So 8 successes. So products has been now if you refresh the page and see here 1 plus 1, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 3, 1 plus x. So look at the time now, just moments before I have done it. Okay, look at the values. So this is the record which I have changed, I have updated. It was created by and it is last modified by me now. I have modified it now, 1 plus 1 and 1 plus 2. Do you remember it was ASD? I changed the name alone and updated these two records, and newly inserted records are this one. See here, 1 plus 3 and 1 plus x are the newly inserted records. For that, look at the created by, both will show the same time because I just now created these two records. And if you look at the values and all, it would be the same which we have given in that Excel sheet. So now totally the object has 8 records. 2 records has been updated and 2 has been newly inserted. So offset operation using data loader has been performed correctly on this particular object. Fine. So if you look at the error message, see here, 6 records has been updated and 2 has been inserted newly. And for the newly inserted records, now system has generated one new ID for them. Fine. For the old records, the ID remains the same. But if you wish to update any record, you need to provide the ID. For that, first we extracted the record IDs and we kept it in the CSV format. And we kept that data as the source data. Using that, we made the changes for few records and we have inserted few records, and we tried to push back using keeping this as the source data in the CSV format. We tried to push the data back into Salesforce again. So we have done like this. So now in the same way, I wish to delete the newly inserted records alone. I wish to delete it. For example, these two are the newly inserted records, 1 plus x and here 1 plus 3. So see here, created by just now I have created these two records. Okay, now I wish to delete these two records alone, the newly inserted and created records. These two records alone I wish to delete it from the system again. So now what I wish to do is, I will have to again go to this sheet and remove all, I can remove all unwanted fields. All these fields I don't want actually. Only the record ID is enough. And okay, so these two are the record IDs of the newly created record which we have done it now. So I am going to keep this as the source data or source CSV format to perform the delete operation. So we have seen insert update, where the combination of insert and update as upset. In one stretch we have seen it using data loader how to perform. So the last action is delete, how to perform delete. For delete also you need record IDs. I told correct. So when you are inserting a new record alone, at that time alone you don't require an ID. After that, for whatever actions, update, delete, for that and all you need record IDs. So the newly created record has these two IDs. This IDs I am going to have it. This ID alone I am going to have it on my in the CSV format. Then using data loader, click on new task, click on delete. It will ask on which object you are going to do. Just specify the object name, select the object name, click on next. It will ask for the upload. So now you select the this CSV format file. So now it will ask the first source data as it's shown for insert and update. Now it is showing the sample data whether this is the raw data. So click on next. So two successes. So now if you come and refresh the page and see, it will show only 6 records. See here that 1 plus 1, 1 plus x and 1 plus 3, the newly created records which we have created now has been deleted. So this is the record. So now if you refresh and see record deleted, record deleted. If you go to recycle bin, these two will be available. See here, deletion date actually, it is now. It will show now. So whatever records that are deleted, it will be available in the recycle bin for a period of 45 days in Salesforce. Till 45 days, you can restore the data back again. After 45 days, Salesforce will delete completely that the records or the data in the recycle bin after 45 days will get completely deleted from the system. Okay. So this is how you will perform data migration activities in Salesforce using data loader. Whether it is an insert, update, upset or delete, it could be done in this way.
What is this schedule tab? Is it the schedule for the data loader activity in the queue? The schedule here. There is nothing there, right? No. You try
Now
to do an import, maybe put in the queue or something. Or you can schedule some jobs.
using data loader, but using this version it is not possible. I don't think whether it is possible. But normally
So if
using
I want to export every day, let us say every hour or something, is it possible?
in data loader it is possible actually, because that is the advantage of data loader. Earlier before data loader, Salesforce was using a tool called import wizard. Data import wizard. So this was the tool which was being used by Salesforce. So here if you see, there was no, scheduling is not an option here, which in the earlier days. So also it had few limitations like more than 50,000 data you cannot load it using this. So but this data loader, it removed all the limitations. You can it will be available for all standard object, all custom object. You can load more than 50,000 records. Also you can schedule the data. But now here,
How do you schedule it? Can we try one? How do you schedule it?
that's what I'm in this free version.
Or you want to upgrade it first?
There is no option for scheduling actually, I think. So here it is like if you will have to upgrade it to paid version, then only you will have that option of scheduling. So scheduling it is not
Uh,
that complex actually. So yesterday when we are seeing in reports, we saw yesterday a few reports, right? So reports you can schedule it actually. So click on run report. Under that, click on see here. You will have schedule future runs. So click on this. Now it will show you can schedule it like this, whether daily or weekly or monthly once. You can schedule it and you can specify the date actually. Okay, and save. You can save the report schedule, and automatically whether you want the report to be sent to you or to you and others, all the available users in Salesforce, it will show. So like this, you can schedule a report, you can schedule a dashboard. In the same way only, you are going to schedule the job, batch job, Apex class, scheduling, data loader operations also. You will provide the CSV format, and there you will specify the time and mention every day at what time you wish to schedule it. The same way only it will also be there in data loader. So now,
So this is not enabled because it's a free version.
in this option, you
Is
don't
it
have that. You cannot schedule it actually. So this is a free version.
because of the free version? Or
Yeah,
can we upgrade?
if you upgrade it, like you will have to pay paid version only. We will have to go.
Oh, I see. But the Apex and those ones are available, right? For scheduling?
Yeah, that is there. For Apex, it is there. I can even write it now itself. I can show. So, so Apex, it is available. See here, whatever jobs which we have scheduled there for monitoring purpose, we can run and come and check here. So this is there.
Okay.
Classes also, Apex classes also, it is possible to actually schedule. One second. Okay. So you should have written one word called schedule. You will have to, your class should have implemented that particular interface, schedule interface. So if your class is going to implement that particular interface and you have written a class like that, then it will show one option here to schedule it actually. See here, schedule Apex. So now here we can schedule what is the class name, Apex class name it will ask. So now there are no options available. I don't have any classes written in that particular schedule class. I have not implemented any of my Apex classes. Does not has implemented that particular interface. So in this way, you can schedule a class, Apex class. So all these options we would be able to see: batch job, schedule Apex, scheduling an Apex class, and how to check monitoring everything that is available that we can see. But here using data loader, as this being a third-party tool, they have kept it as a limitation over here. Like it is not possible to schedule it from here. So you will have to go for the upgraded version, then only it is possible. Okay. So and also it is not that is not very complex. As I shown for reports, it would be like few point and clicks like where to go and schedule it. So now if you see here, this tabular report we have scheduled it and it is being shown here. So every month it would be auto refreshing and it will send an email to the persons whom you have specified at the scheduling time automatically, auto refresh. The same way it is available for dashboard. Now if you see here for report, I have shown right, but here the same way if you click on dashboard, there will not be an option. You cannot find any that scheduling option will not be available for dashboards. So Salesforce has kept it as a limitation in developer edition, like only for reports only you can schedule it. For dashboards, it is not possible to schedule. But in production version, in paid version, if you see, the same way how you are scheduling uh, your report, this run report is there, right? So this option, the same options will be available for dashboards also for production version. But in developer org, they have limited it using like you can only schedule a report only you can schedule, but dashboard it is not possible to schedule. The same way you schedule a report, you can schedule a dashboard also, and it will be auto refresh and it will be sent to people weekly, monthly, or on a daily basis. You can do it. So likewise, to make money, uh, scheduling option has been removed from this, actually, the data loader. So once you have this option, you can schedule the things in CSV format if you tell what is the data which needs to be done, and you can schedule it so on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. Automatically the jobs will be executing.
So where will be the, so you can specify the location where the
Yeah,
file
yeah, the path, the FTP path, and all you can specify it. Because somewhere the source data system, they would have written one job, right? Some class they would have written, and it should, the job should run, pick up the data and put it in the FTP file format. The FTP path, the source data system will be available in the CSV format. So once you specify the path and if you specify the time, so this, after scheduling, this data loader will go and check in the particular FTP path whether the available data is there or not. So once it is able to find that particular file, it will check for the data and it will start scheduling it, and the operations will start getting executed.
So you have done data integration, right?
Yeah,
Done it.
yeah.
So what is the process like? Let us say I want to get the Salesforce data and load into another database for my reporting.
Okay.
So have you done such
Okay.
type of thing?
Integration, data integration I have done. Like the data is getting moved from Salesforce to legacy system, to legacy ERP. Right, that could be a SAP or any.
What is the process? So
Sorry?
you can you explain the process? I want to understand how
Okay,
you don't have to show me. Just explain the process.
fine.
So I want to load leads and accounts and other things or whatever into another database.
Okay, fine. So you need to have this.
Daily, maybe daily couple of times or whatever. Right?
Okay. So through there would be a thing called what to say. First, you need to have those tables in that particular system. So whatever tables or object which you are having here, accounts, contacts, leave, etc. So whatever you are saying here in Salesforce, you need to have the same data, same fields specified there also in that system.
Yeah,
To which
yeah,
system the data is
yeah.
going to getting flowed. So we had a middleware tool, like Informatica, we had a middleware tool called web methods. Using that, data will be flowing from one system to another. So what we will do is we will,
Webmetrics is part of Informatica. It's another tool.
another third party tool like Informatica. It is another standalone product, middleware tool.
Webmetrics. Okay.
Web,
Okay.
web methods for integrating enterprise level integrations.
It's not free, right?
No, 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 no.
There
It
is
is a
no
paid.
free.
It is a paid version. Also, it is not cloud. It is a server, client server based model. So
Oh.
it's a paid version. Middleware tool. So
How much is it?
Informatica also was like client server only. But recently, I heard like that they have moved to cloud. I'm not sure. I have not worked on.
Yeah, Informatica Cloud is there for Salesforce. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
fine, fine. So, like, I have not worked in Informatica. My current project, I think there is a scope for cast iron, for cast iron, and Informatica is there, I think. But then my project is yet to start.
there's another tool called GTP also, right? GTP.
Yeah, Jetrobit is also done now. Those are all continuous integration, I think. Jetrobit, Jenkins, and all. Jenkins, Jetrobit, we call it as a post-deployment automation. DevOps operations using the continuous integration or continuous deployment could be done. I am not aware of, or I am not sure whether you can transfer the data from one system to another. Because Jenkins and all, if you see, if you have many sandboxes, and if you have one org and one sandbox, no problem. One team, if it is there, and if it is not that critical, then you can no problem. Aramse, you can include all your components in the change set and move that change set directly to production. But think like you have many development teams, many sandboxes, and one production org. Many people will be working. So you need to have version control. One people working on one code, another person if he is also working on the same code, then his previous code will get overridden. So to avoid such conflicts, and also if if there are more orgs, many regions. Let's take like for your organization, you have many regions. Region wise, you have many production orgs, and for each production org there are n number of sandboxes. So from each sandbox it is being linked to production. So many applications are being developed, and there is a release every week. There is a release. So if this is going to be the case, then that sitting and adding each and every component, each and every developed thing into change set, and then moving from this change set, validating it, and deploying it in the production, checking everything, that is not possible. That is not the ideal feasible solution to reduce time, and you need to have a separate team for that to take care of that activities, because we call that as a MTP, moving to production process, that we'll be seeing in a separate session once the development thing is done, because we are yet to see all this. We are in the middle of configuration. So once the customization thing is done, then we'll be seeing that process. In one session I would be able to explain about this moving to production, inbound sensor, outbound sensor. So to automate that activity, actually, this Jitterbit Jenkins, this is what we call it as continuous integration or continuous deployment. So automatically, without manual intervention, using these such tools, your whatever changes you make on your sandboxes or developer org, it would be your production org and your sandbox will be in continuously in sync. So to automate, this is what we call it as DevOps, developer operations, to automate the post-deployment activities. So your Jitterbit Jenkins will do such kind of activities. Jenkins, I'm quite sure, like it is an CI tool only, continuous integration tool only. But Jitterbit, like I heard, like that is also a continuous integration tool. So continuous integration tool means they are told to sync the data from your sandbox of Salesforce to your production org of Salesforce. I'm not sure it works for the same way, like what's in between Salesforce and some other system, Salesforce SAP, Salesforce RP, Salesforce.net. Like this, whether it works cross org also, cross domain, cross org also, whether it is working or not, I'm not sure. So for that we have Informatica, web methods, these systems and all you act as a middleware. So what we do is actually we write an Apex class in the name of global. So there is a access specifiers are there. You will start writing a class with public, private, protected. In the same way, we will start writing a class called global Apex class. Okay. So and we will expose the data. So if you write a class as global, any application from any other system can access it. So once you write a class like that, automatically your WSDL will get generated. You will get an option of uh, WSDL will be there. So here we will start writing a class as global, and once you write this, you will get an option to generate. This button will get enabled. So once you generate the WSDL, it will show in the XML format. Data will come like this. So we will save this file and share this file to the middleware team, Informatica or web methods team. We will share this. So Salesforce developer and Salesforce jobs ends here. So all that we do is we write an class like this to expose the data. So this is actually to get the data from Salesforce. See here, we would have received the data from some other system. Data is going to come like this. Okay, product name, product description, amount. This data is going to come from some other system. Salesforce is going to identify this, receive this, and then insert it into our system. Fine. So now once we write this class The same way, that system would have a class like this global class to expose their data. Now this class is to receive the data. The same way, from wherever the data is going to come, that system, they would have exposed the data. They would have written a class like this to expose the data actually. Fine. So once that once that class exposes the data, this system would be able to receive the particular data, and we would be inserting it into the system. So all that from Salesforce side, what we do is actually to write a class and to generate whistle, and we'll give this generated whistle to, it will be an XML format. See here, whatever values which you have, fields which you have referred, it will be shown here. So this generated wisdom, we will give it to the that system. I mean the middleware tool, middleware team. So now it is their part to configure actually. In Informatica and web methods and all, if you see, there is the configuration only they will be done. They will be mapping the fields from Salesforce to SAP, from Salesforce to Oracle. What is the table name, object name, and what are the fields available in this system, that system. They will be mapping it correctly. What are all the validations, and if at all data is coming, what is the prime data, necessary data, required data. If at all if required data is not coming, what is the error that should be thrown, and from where it is missing, whether it is missing from the source system, or it is the error is thrown in the middleware side or from the other side. All these validation checks will be done by the middleware team. So this is how data integrations has been done. I have worked on the data integrations actually like this using middleware
What
checks.
is this class? Are we going to see that later
Yeah, yeah,
when we develop
definitely. This class and all will be explained. This would be the last session actually. So integrating between your systems, data integration. So continuous integration actually will be. So the one which we saw using data loader is actually, I said, like manual intervention. You need one-time activity wherein which you want to load the data in bulk. But this is not a feasible solution. If at all, if data has to be flown between systems and they should be in sync. Think of like a customer is seeing the uh, you know uh, placing the order in Salesforce, and the after the order has been placed, it goes to various systems. Like in the backend, you have SAP, Oracle, you have many other legacy systems. So data flows through all the systems. So at any point of time, there will be many customers from any region. From at any point of time, a customer can place an order from Salesforce, right? So every time it is not possible to have a person sit and look at the system and check whether any customer is placing an order, get that order, and then using data loader push that to SAP, push that to again from SAP to Oracle. Again, it is not possible. It is not a feasible solution. So in such a scenario, we'll go for integration class and we will sync the data using integration classes. If at all, if the particular integration class which we have written is not working, if there are some issues, and if the data are not getting in sync, the data are not flowing between systems, in such a scenario, what are all the data which got missed, and we will find out, and then again to have the data in sync among the systems, we will have, again, we will at that time we will go for data loader. So one main activity is when you are doing the data migration for the first time, like you are implementing Salesforce in your organization for the first time. Till now you have been using Oracle Siebel. So now for the first time, as you are using, you have implemented, you want to load all the data in bulk from Sable to Salesforce. That's all. After this, you are not going to use Siebel. Siebel is going to be sunsetted from your organization. So you want as a one-time activity, you are going to load the data in bulk from that system to this system. So at that time, you will go for data loader. And in later scenarios, from your Salesforce, SAP has been integrated. So data is flowing between. For example, employee salary details are being kept in Oracle. So Oracle and Salesforce should be in sync always. If this is the scenario, then data loader is not a solution. For this, you will have to write the integration class actually. Whatever class which I have shown. From Salesforce side, you have to write a class to expose or to receive the data. The same way, the source system will be writing a class like this, using which you can transfer the data from one system to another. So this class we will be calling it as an integration class. That is also actually an Apex class. If you write a class starting with a global keyword, then it is actually an integration class. We will be seeing about everything in detail in the post progressive development session. So this is actually about data loader. We have discussed quite a number of things here. So next, if you see, okay, roll up summary field actually. So if you see here, it is available on the, this will be available on the master object actually. For example, if there are two objects A and B and A is the master, this roll up summary field is available on the A object. So it will show, it will aggregate and show all the details of your child object. For example, if A and B are related, and if you want to have the total number of child records which are present for A, or let's take account contact. Account is the parent, contact is the child, right? So on account, you can have a roll-up summary field which will aggregate and show the records of your contacts. So what is the total number of count? Using count, there are four functions which are available for roll-up summary field: count, sum, minimum, maximum. So these are all the four activities which you can do using roll-up summary field on the parent object. Okay. So on account, if I wish to have on account, if I wish to have, I can have a roll-up summary field called total number of contacts, and using count function, I can just have a look on account object. What are all the what is the total count of the contact for this particular account I can have. So on account, I can have one field called opportunity. So account is opportunity is related to account, right? So one account can have many opportunities. So on account object, I can have one more field called roll-up summary field, which is going to show the total opportunity value. Each and every opportunity will have one amount, right? So there is one field called amount. So what is the total amount for all the opportunities? Of the total amount, what is the maximum amount? What is the minimum amount? Like this, you can have it on opportunities. On account, you can have, or on opportunity and opportunity products are related to each other. Opportunity products is actually a child. Okay, so opportunity, that is actually again master detail relationship. I again specify this roll-up summary field is available only for master detail relationship objects alone. This is available. Also, it will be available on the master object only. Okay, so you can, using these four actions or functions, you can perform using roll-up summary field. Let's see a few examples on that. On the account object, we can have a few roll-up. We can keep a few roll-up summary fields. On opportunities, we can have a few roll-up summary fields to display the total count of the codes or the opportunity products, the total sum, the minimum list price, the maximum list price of the opportunities or the opportunity products, everything. So in general, if you see, what is the use of roll-up summary field? To aggregate the data of the child records in the master, you can use the roll-up summary field. Fine. So now let's see in practical how to create roll-up summary fields. So now on opportunity, So let's go to fields. Let's try creating one new field. And see here, any opportunity, it will have products. Right? Products is related to opportunity. So opportunity is master, opportunity products is child. So these two are related using master detail relationship. And see here, come down, you have quotes. So quotes is actually child and opportunity is actually the parent. So I can create a roll-up summary field on your parent. So on the opportunity, I am clicking on the roll-up summary field. Click on next. So from which object I want to do it? From quotes. So what is the action count? I'm just going to give it the total count of the number of quotes. So let's click on next. Like as you create a normal field. So now we have created one roll-up summary field to count the total number of quotes. Now you come to this particular opportunity, refresh the page and see. Now see here, there is one field called total number of quotes which will display the count. So see here, we have only one quote, right? So it is showing the number of count as quote as 1. Now if we add a new quote here, see here, the quote count has been increased. So because now there are two quotes actually for this particular opportunity. So we have using count function, we can have such a facility on the parent object to display to aggregate the count values of the child records. You can have it on the opportunity. The same way we have opportunity products, right? So here each opportunity product will have price. So here we can have what is the total sum, what is the total sum of the opportunity products, what is the minimum price, what is the maximum price. So everything you can have on this opportunity record itself, you can have it. So now, so total 15,000 plus 5,000 for this particular opportunity. There are two products, and each product's price is one is 15,000, another one is 5,000. So sum of those two it would be displaying here. Total value of opportunity product. So this is actually a roll-up summary field. First, we create one roll-up summary field to aggregate the values of count on the quote object. Next, we have displayed using sum function for opportunity product we have seen. Right? The same way we can create. So of the total opportunity products, what is the maximum price? It is 15,000. So that is shown here. The same way for. Okay. On the parent object itself, I'm able to find what is the minimum list price of my opportunity product, maximum list price, sum, total number of codes which are available. So this is actually the use of roll-up summary field. So the same way on account object, right? So by looking at the parent object itself, I am able to find for this particular account there are 6 opportunities. The same way as we did for opportunity and opportunity products, you can have a sum, minimum, maximum. So those 4 functions we can have we can use it on this particular account object, and we can play around using contacts or opportunities, everything we can do. So if 2 objects are related in the backend using master detail, on the master object you can create a roll-up summary field to aggregate the data on the child records. So this is actually the use of here.
There is no average, right?
Sorry,
Manish?
I didn't get you.
There is no average. I guess we have to
No, no,
create multiple.
no average. Only 4 functions actually.
So is it possible to get the average using sum and the count?
You cannot club 2 actions actually. It is actually one only. So for average and all, if you wish to have like, then you will have to go in for custom formula only. You will have to put it. So using roll-up summary field, you can have a count. Uh, you can have some minimum, maximum. That's all. Average, it is not possible to find using roll-up summary field. Then you need to have a custom formula field. Keep it as average and have your formula in that. Using roll-up summary field, these 4 functions only possible.
What
Have
is this filter criteria then? Filter criteria, second one?
this filter criteria, we have seen like
Okay.
workflows, right? So here, if you click on all records, it will show for all available records. It will show irrespective of without any criteria or condition. If you give this, then only records which are satisfying this condition, those value alone, this will be taken. For example, if I have kept a condition like opportunity amount, if it is greater than 6,000, then only this should count the value. Then if I say greater than 6,000 means only 2 records are there. So now if I had kept that condition here, then this will show instead of 6, it will show only 2. Okay, so like that, then as we have had it in our workflows, you can have conditions here. If the amount is greater than what to say 6,000. So let's have it for our things. So now see here, this it will show only 2 records because only 2 records are satisfying that condition. So it is taking the count of that and it is displaying here. Fine. So this is actually your the conditions to do this. So this is about your roll-up summary field. Uh, Fine. So next let's see about formula fields. So what is a formula field? Uh, So formula fields, if you see, it is also a custom field, but the data type of this would be a formula, and you can have your own formula. Like you ask, like average, to give an average. You can have a discount. If you want to, I want to have one field which will display the discount of the amount. For example, based on the amount field, I want to have a 10% discount, and the discounted amount field should show always the discounted amount should be displayed. Okay, on the contact object, I want to have the account number of the particular object. So cross object formula fields are there. So you can have custom formula, like as in Excel you have the formulas, right? So those functions are only used here. So if and or not, uh, using this is the most widely used. Then you can have in validation rules, you will have is null, is blank, is picked value, is changed, is new. So all these functions will be available here. So your both your validation rule and formula fields goes hand in hand. The functions used are would be similar for both your formula fields and for your action. And you can have a field called to concatenate string. You have a field called first name, last name. So I want to have one more field called formula field, which will display the full name of this, where it will concatenate the string at the runtime, whatever value coded by the end user. Your formula field will take the values from that and it will concatenate the string and it will display. Okay. And your formula fields, it will not be displayed on the edit page. It will be displayed only on the product detail page. Once you save the record, after that it will be displayed. Automatically it will take the values of the earlier provided values and it will based on the formula whatever you are giving, that will be available. Okay. Now let's see few formulas, how to create few formulas. Let's see. So see here, for this object, I have one field called amount. Okay. So here that is actually a number field. Okay. So this amount is actually a number field. So I want to show discount for this amount. So whatever products you buy, there is a 10% discount. Okay. So if that is going to be the case, I want to show a discounted amount price. So in such a scenario, I will go and create one formula field. Click on formula. See here, this roll-up summary is hidden. Are you able to see? So you can create this roll-up summary field only on the master object. Also, you need to have master detail relationship. Then only you can create. For all the other objects and all, this would be disabled. Okay. Click on formula. Just it is going to return number type only. Click on next. Okay. Are you able to identify? So amount minus amount star 0.10. I am going to apply 10% discount. So this is the formula which I am giving it here. So see here on the right side, these are all the functions available in Salesforce for your validation rule and formula field for both. These are all the available actions. If you click on everything, every function, it will show what is the usage of that. Okay, we'll be using all these functions. So if you look at all these functions, it will not be used in real time. Date value, date time, round, uh, is equal, is number, decimal is blank, includes, contains. Only these certain a handful number of things only would be useful. If and or not, blank value, case, mod, return, round. Only few functions would be useful. We will be seeing examples with whatever the functions which are being often used in real time. Okay, so before going to that, see here, my intention is to provide a 10% discount. So I have one field called amount field, which is a number field. So based on this field, automatically I want to calculate a formula, and it should calculate 10% discount. So this is the formula which I have provided, a simple formula, amount minus amount star pointer. So click on next. So if you are proficient enough in Excel formulas, then it should be very easy. It is more or less like similar kind of thing. So now we have created a formula field called discounted amount. So now let's refresh this page and see. See here, automatically it will calculate 10% discount from the amount. It will calculate 10% discount and it will display. So this is what I was telling. Your formula field, it will be visible on the detail page, or after you save the record, it will be showing. Now I am editing this record. See, this field will not be displayed. See here, it will not show. So now I am changing the value to 1000. Now I am saving it. So automatically 10% discount is applied, and then 900 discount amount. So when you are editing it, or when you are creating a new record for the first time, that formula fields will not be displayed. Once you click everything and save the record, on the detail page only your formula fields will be displayed. This is a functionality of Salesforce. You cannot override this. It is not only in developer edition, across all editions in Salesforce, the same functionality is for formula fields. Fine. This is one simple formula for number type formula. Next, let's have a small text formula field, in which it is going to concatenate the strings. So for that, let's have two fields first. So I have created two text fields called first name and last name. Okay. Next, I am going to create one new field, formula field, where in which I am going to concatenate the two values. The return type is actually text only. So I am going to have the field as full name. Click on this. So here I am going to give a formula. So now if you see, like, so this would be our formula, concatenating two strings. So first name and last name, whatever values that has been provided by the end user or business user, that will be concatenated and provided. You can also check for any syntax errors. So click on next. Okay. So now if I click on edit, and if I for amount, if I give 10,000, first name, last name I am giving it. Once I save the record, see here, Delanta Senverin, that string has been concatenated and it is provided here. For the amount formula field, it is actually a number formula field. This is actually text formula field, an example for text formula field. So 10% discount has been calculated, the string has been concatenated and it is provided here. So now if we wish to have a space in between this, we can have it like
Ganesh, I have a quick question. So let us say there are 100 records and we added a new formula field.
okay.
So to do so the formula field will work only if the record is saved, right?
Yeah.
So only for the new records it will work.
No, 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 no,
So how do you?
no, no.
Uh,
It's not like that. See here, we for this particular
I
object.
mean, not only records, old records also, but you have to edit and save, right?
No, not required. See here, for these records, before and all, there were no formula fields. We just now created the formula field. But see here, it is working for all records. Without even editing, it will work. Formula fields will work, no problem.
Oh, okay. So you don't need to go and
No,
edit
no, no,
and
no,
save all of
no, no, no. Your formula fields,
it.
whatever at any moment of time, what art you create, it will work for all old records,
Okay.
new records. No need to edit and save. It will automatically work.
Okay.
Okay. So we have seen simple examples for formula, number formula field and text formula field. So there is one more thing called cross-object formula field. So all these formula fields which we have seen are on the same object, correct? So your field is your amount field is on the also on this object. My discounted amount formula field also is on the same object, correct? So this is fine. But there would be scenario wherein which I want to show uh, on contact. Okay, account and contact are related, correct? So there could be a requirement wherein which on contact I want to have details about account. On opportunities, I wish to have details about account. So if there is a relationship, lookup or master detail relationship, using the other object details, I want to show it in my object. So I want to, without even going to payslip object, I want to have it on my object itself. I used to have a field, formula field, which should show the salary which I am getting. So this is what we call it as cross object. If there are any relationship between two objects, you can have cross object formula fields. So how to achieve that if you see? So one example is on contact object. I want to show the account number. For example, every account will have an account number. Okay. So for this contact, what is the account number or what is the account name? If I wish to have, then I can have one formula field stating like go to fields, create one new formula field. It is a number. It is going to return a number data type. So now if you see, so it is showing an error like the text. It is actually the output of this is going to be a text, but we have selected the data type it as number. Okay, so it is throwing an error. So let's change the data type of this to be text. Then now it is not showing any syntax errors. Requirements. Fine. So this is the account number. So on, if you go and see in that particular contact, it is showing account number. So this is the account number in the account. So here it was not showing because for this particular account there is no name itself. So account name, if I click it as Airtel, for Airtel I don't think we have an account number. So once we have this, if I refresh now and see, it will show account number. Fine. So this is actually cross-object formula field. This is what we call. So if you wish to display the data or details about another object data details in this object, provided they have some relationship among themselves, then using cross-object formula fields you can display the data like this. Okay. Next, if you see one more example for formula fields, a little complex thing you see. On opportunities, let's try to create one formula field. So what we are going to see here is like any opportunity you take, there is one amount, correct? So if the amount, based on this amount, I want whether it is a big deal or small deal. What is an opportunity? It is actually a revenue generating event, correct? So what I'm trying to say is, based on the opportunity amount value, I want to categorize the opportunity as whether it is a big deal or small deal. So that it will be easier for me to group it when I'm preparing a report, for summary report or matrix report. It will be easier for me to group it, to bucket it as like a big deal or a small deal. So for that I wish to have a formula field, so which should calculate automatically based on the formula which I am going to provide. So if the opportunity amount value is greater than 1 lakh, it is actually a big deal, or else it is a small deal. So how to have such a function if you see. So now here we have to use if function. Why? Because if the opportunity amount is greater than 1 lakh, correct? So now we are going to select the if functionality. Once you select the functionality, it will show what is the first condition you are going to give. So condition, if you see opportunity amount, if the opportunity amount is greater than 1 lakh, then it is, if what is the, if it is true, what is the result? It is big deal. If it is false, what is the big deal? What is the result? If it is true means it should display it as big deal, right? If it is false, it should display it as small deal. So your if functionality in Salesforce formula and validation rule works like this. You will have to select the condition. First, you will have to specify the condition. What is the condition? If it is true, what is the result? If it is false, what is the result? We have included single double quotes. Why? Because all text should be in double quotes, correct? So in any, irrespective of any programming language you take, all text literals, it should be in your uh, double quotes. So for that we have displayed it like this. So using a small formula, we are going to categorize all opportunities as big opportunity or small opportunity. We can have as opportunity itself. We can. big opportunity. For all the opportunities less than 1 lakh, it will show as small, and greater than 1 lakh, it will show as big opportunity. Okay, so this was the uh, formula which we have written for this to categorize it as the like this. Okay, and also you can have like so let's have one more formula field on the opportunity object to show how many days are remaining for the opportunity to get closed. So here, like so let's have the return type as date or time. So field label I'm going to give it as like this. So what is the formula if you see? So on opportunity you have close date, right? So I'm going to take that. So close date minus you will have today. So that will give you the days remaining for how many days is remaining. It's actually okay. So based on the close date, how many days are remaining to close the opportunity, it will show. Okay, this is another one small formula to be displayed. So these are all the simple formulas which you can have it. By based on another field, we can have this formula field would be changed. So the same way The remaining functionalities which are existing here, the formulas, we are doing. Here we have functions, right? So these functions is blank, is pick val, is null, is number. All these functions we will be using in validation rules. When we are seeing validation rules, we'll be seeing about these functions. Okay. So this is about your formula fields. So next, if you see validation rules. To validate the data, before getting saved to database. So when someone is filling a form, the system itself needs to validate the data. So if you have created a field as number, your only number should be entered. If you are giving it as text, only text should be entered. If you are giving it as URL, then only that URL link has to be provided. .com it should be there. So those kind of validations are the standard validations. If you select the data type, Salesforce itself will do that validation. Apart from that, if you wish to have any custom validation checks, like you wish to have whether you have wish to check whether whether the on the contact object whether the address fields are blank or not. So for every time when someone creates a record on the contact object, they have to provide the uh, contact address. I mean, address details has to be provided. If it is blank, then you will have to show one error. So like this, before when someone after filling up the form, before someone is entering on save and before the record is getting saved in the database, you are going to validate the data and throw errors if it is not satisfying the criteria which you have given in here. So that is actually your validation rules. So on contact object, when I create a contact object here, if you see the mandatory field is actually last name only. So if someone fails to fill in these details, then it has to throw an error. So like that. Or let's take the case of employee leave object itself. If the first name and last name if it is blank, okay. If any one of this is blank, then you will have to return one error stating like first name and last name should be filled in. So for this, what we have to do is we have to go in here, click on validation rules. So here, if you come and so here, if you see, okay, I'm checking whether the field is blank or not. First name and last name. If it is blank, if any of this field is blank, then I should throw one error. What is the error? I can have this error on the top of the page or on the top of the field. If it is on top of the field, I can have on any of these fields. As two fields are involved, let's have it on top of the page itself. Click on save. Fine. Now, before this, see, I'm making it deactivating it. So now if I click on any records and clicking on save, now it will save. Okay. But after we have made this active, so now if I click on edit and if I click to save, see here it will throw an error. So if anyone is empty, then it should throw an error. Okay. So now we have used this functionality. Or I am checking whether this field is blank or not, and also this field is blank or not. If any one of these field is blank, then it will throw this error. Correct. So that it is working as required, right? So now if I click on this, it will save. It will allow me to save. But if I does not fill any one of this record, then it will not allow me to save the record itself. So this is actually the validation. It is actually validating the data before the record is getting saved to the database. You are validating the data using custom validation tools. Okay, this is one such validation tools. You are going to check whether these two fields are blank or not, and based on that, we are going to display a custom message error. Next, I am going to create one more new validation tool wherein which it is going to, I am going to check if the type, if he is a permanent employee. Okay, if he is a permanent employee, then the years of experience field should not be null. If he is a contract employee, no problem. He can, it should, the validation rule, it should save, it should allow him or she to save the record. But if someone creates a record by selecting the permanent bitlist value here, then years of experience should be something, some number should be entered. For all permanent employees, years of experience is mandatory. So that is the custom message. Okay, so how are we going to create one validation tool for this? So you can have any name for your validation tool. The naming conventions and all will be there in the project itself. So that is not a big deal. So now what is the condition we are going to use here? If you look at the error message, it should be like okay. So this is the error message. So but how to bring in using here, how to bring this condition if you see. We are going to check two things, right? First, we are going to check whether it is a permanent field, permanent type or not. Next, we are going to check whether this field is blank or not. So we have to check both these things. So both the things means we have to use and. In logical one, what we are going to use, we are going to select whether the pick list value is permanent or not. So for that, there is one uh, function called is pick value. So have this business function is pickval. What is the pick list field? So it should be permanent, correct? So pick list field they are asking. So now what you should use if you see pick list field, what is the pick list field type, correct? So this is the pick list field actually. So first have this pick list field. Next, what is the text? It should be permanent, correct? So now if the pick list field is permanent, so we have checked it. If the pick list field is permanent, then we have to check the years of experience field whether it is null or not. So here I am going to use is null. Why? Because it is a number field. If you see here, for number fields you can use is null. For text fields you can use is blank. Last time we were using is blank, right? So this is useful for your text fields. If the custom field which you have created is a text field, then you can use is blank function. If it is a number field, then you can use is null functionality. So here I am going to use is null. Inside this I am going to have the my field. Fine. So I am checking whether the pick list value is permanent or not. Then I am checking whether my years of experience field is null or not. If it is null, if it is permanent, and if it is null, and condition. And is like you know, right? So if it is and, both the conditions should be satisfied. If it is or, if any one of the condition is getting satisfied, then fine, no problem. So using this, now we are going to create a new validation group. So after this, if I try to create a new record, so it will say till, okay. So see here, whatever error message which we did there, it is showing, correct? So if it is a contract employee, it will allow me to save, no problem. But if at all, if it is a permanent employee, then years of experience I should type in. Once I type in, it will allow me to save. If I does not have this, then it should show error only for permanent employees. But for contract employees, it should allow me to save the record. Fine. So our validation rule is working correctly. So this is actually another validation rule to check whether it is working or not. Fine. So I can give one task to create one validation rule and check whether it is working or not. You can take up this task actually to try out a validation rule like this. It is going to check like okay. You can take up this task. Just try how to achieve this validation rule. So you have to show an error when the opportunity, on opportunity you have a field called stage. If it is changed to close in the last, so it is a pick list field. So what is the function we have to use is pick val, correct? So using is pick val, you have to check whether the field is closed last or not. Then if it is changed to closed last, if I am a system admin, then I can change. But other than system admin, if someone has changed that to close last, and the last reason, there is one more field called loss. Last reason is there. So let us go and check.
It's a pick list or loss reason?
Last reason,
Or
it is actually a text field only. Once again.
so to check the system admin, you need to check the profile, right?
Yeah, exactly. So one second, I'll show. Okay. So it is actually, you can create a custom field. That is actually a text custom field. So
Okay.
you could create one custom field called last reason for text, and you can check whether it is blank or not, and you have to check whether it is getting changed by a system administrator or not. To check that, you have you know in formulas,
So current users
you have
profile.
one second. See here, you have profile. See here. So this is how you have to check. So
Okay.
profile name, if it is not equal to system administrator.
Okay.
So like this you can check. This symbol
So for the pick, we have to check this. What is that value?
is pick where. So you will have, if you go here, is pick where. So is pick val and is blank. So using all these functions, try achieving that actually. So this profile name, if it is not equal to system administrator, then using these two tools, all that you have to do is club and combine all this and try to achieve that functionality. So that would be, a simple task on validation tool so that you would get acquainted. So if you have any doubts on these functions, you can go and check. If you click on any function, it will
Oh,
show how to use, what is the thing it will use. Underneath it will have, you will be able to find one hyperlink, help on this function. So if you just click on speak
oh,
one, click on help on this function, it will redirect you to one page, help page, where they would have
oh,
explained about that particular function with examples they by themselves would have explained. So it would be very useful for all to have a look on all the functions so that it would be useful at some point of time, if at all if some requirement comes in future, and to use that. So one second.
oh. These are examples. Huh? Okay.
Yeah,
Useful.
yeah. See here with the examples they would have used. So they are checking whether the user type is standard, power partner or customer success. So they are checking for the pick list value. If it is standard, then if it is true means 100, false means 0.1. If it is a power partner, true means 100, false means 0.1. If it is a customer success, true means 100, false means 0.1. So like this. So they would have explained about this pick where. One second. See here, what is the speak well, about description and how to use it with examples they would have shown. So you can have a look on this so that it would be useful for you to have a look on all the functions which are available on Salesforce. But as I said, all will not be useful in real time. A handful number of undif or not is pick well, is null, is blank, is null, is changed, is clone, is new, like this date, time, these fields and all. So over a period of time, no need to remember, over a period of time, once you start working on Salesforce platform, you by yourself will get acquainted. Okay, so for till then, you can have a look on this. Salesforce itself has provided this. So for now, let's you try creating that task which I have shared with you. By achieving that, it would be an exercise kind of stuff. So have this. So this is all about your validation rules, formula fields, roll-up summary fields, and about data load, data migration. So with this, almost like we are coming to an end of the configuration part. The only thing which is missing is like we have to see Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. Already would have I have explained an overview. Now that I'll have to go inside that and I'll have to show you how to convert a lead, how to track a lead, how to get a lead for using from your website itself, how to get a lead. So web to lead, web to case, email to case. When an email is being sent to your organization, like at
Yeah.
delantercompany.com, when an email is being sent, how to convert that email into a case. So then auto response rule, assignment rule, escalation rule, all are there. So that is only missing part. That's actually very much required for an admin, actually. So we don't. I'll show that also, so that your personal configuration part will completely get over by tomorrow.
The other thing, Ganesh, can we